Hey folks, it's Brian. We finally got a chance. Well, there was all kinds of things holding stuff up, right? Lost some players, the holidays, all that kind of thing. PAX Unplugged. But last night we got together to play. So I was expecting it to be a rough session, but overall I feel like it did not go well. Now, it went okay. I'm not, beating myself up, but obviously, hopefully I learned a lot of things from last night that I can use to help promote and progress the story, that kind of thing, for our next session. But anyway, so first game after a long time, first game with 4 new players, so I now have 6. So that was an issue. 6, can I handle 6 folks at one time kind of deal? And that wasn't too much of a problem. We had one player with some comm feedback issues, but we attempted to, we dealt with that by using the press to talk thing. I think maybe just getting some headphones may eliminate that feedback for him. But there were other players who didn't have headphones, and we didn't get feedback from them, so I'm not a tech guy. I don't know. What else? One of our players had to come in late, so that happens. And we spent a good amount of the beginning of the session just kind of, talking, discussing, sharing, feeling each other out, how we played. That was my interpretation of it, and that sort of thing. And in a new situation, I have a tendency to be very sit in the back seat, watch, see how things go, make changes later. Something I learned in the Marine Corps. You come into a new section, just see how things are going. You're just like, don't make any changes. So anyway, once we finally got everything rolling, there's some of this whole, player trying to play his character, right? Because in Runequest, the characters are people. They're not, adventurers doing this strange, weird thing. They're local heroes and get involved in strange, weird things, right? So one guy's a merchant, and they get to Whitewall, and they want to, make some money, right? I got another guy who's, hey, this is my mission. I was told to do this. This answers it. Are we done? Can I go home now? And then there was a lack of communication on my part on the parties crossing. What I should have done is, as soon as the searching party got to Whitewall, because they're going to have to, and I did some of this, find place to stay. What are you going to do? What's the issues? They stayed at the Ceres Temple. The Ceres guys didn't know anything about what the other party had been doing and hadn't heard anything, because it was pretty low keyed and fairly quick. They came into town and left. I was kind of hoping the Beaster Gore would inquire at the Earth Temple, because there was a connection there, and they said, "Oh yeah, Aranda, our priestess, was hanging out with these guys. They were checking out some Death Temple or the Orlethi Temple guys. Sent them over." Now, what probably should have had names, actual priests and lords involved, that kind of thing, but I didn't. So there was a miscommunication there. They thought they had found each other, and so they started talking. So I just kind of smooth that over, get through Orlethi Temple. They're in session discussing things, and then there's some player interaction on, I've got a high Discord rune, so I'm going to interrupt. Other guys I have a high harmony rune, so I'm not going to interrupt. And in fact, I'm going to attempt to stop him from interrupting. So we did some, banter back and forth, which is cool. It was good. Made some rolls, got the runes rolling, people thinking that kind of stuff. It was good. That was good. I ended up not interrupting. The party comes out. There's some discussion. There was a connection made with one of the new players and Lars, having both been at Pennell Ford. And one of the new players, we were trying to figure out what to do, and I didn't have the cults and occupations of all the other players, new players with me I just knew a couple of them. And so he was thinking of doing an Isri's guy, the Merchant God, with, support and healing kind of stuff. And I'm cool with 2 Isri guys in the barn. It's not an issue with me. But when he found there was an Isri's guy, he goes, I better try something else. How about a shaman? And there aren't any shamans. I was kind of not worried, concerned about having an assistant shaman in the party, only because I know how powerful they can be, and I'm not really that familiar with them because we haven't had a shaman in the party since the very first session. So, but he ended up mentioning worshiping Valind. So I made the assumption that the Valind cult was a shamanistic cult. And so I just tied it with the shaman that's supporting the Lord, because we had, the shamans before. So it's easy, yeah. Well, I'm not an assistant shaman. I'm a bandit. Okay, well, you're still, a student, so that'll work out. But it turns out that Valind is an actual priest, not a shamanistic cult. So I'm going to have to figure this one out now. Oops. Well, anyway, so they all get together. They hash out all these different conflicts and stuff. Aranda, the Earth Priestess NPC that was with them, is heading back to Smithston to let her priestess know about what's been going on and what she knows about what happened from the temple issue there, and the amulet they found out about, right? Ferran is down 2 points of strength. He's going home. Hemlin morphed into, what did my sheet? Here we go. Hemlin morphed into Engrolar and Ngasi Noble. There goes a Fisher, but that's okay. He's in Ngasi. They made some connections. So he's technically the only member of the party who's not tied in with the theme that I have centering the PCs. So now I could change that this easily, because there's a river in the Urnaldori clan, and our first party actually had a fisher as one of the members. So this Thane's territory comes up against the river at some point. So I could just move him over. Being a noble, though, unless I made a member of the household, which would be really easy too, because we've just started. So I could do that. I think I might do that, in fact. Yeah, I think we'll do that. I'll talk to the players about it, see if they're cool with that. But since it doesn't really tie in too much to this whole how do we know each other kind of thing, which is back to the Valind player. How do you know these guys? Oh my goodness. So I'm going to think about that this next couple of weeks and get that all figured out. Okay, so the party gets together, they work out their issues. There's some background given on what they're doing and why they're doing it. They ask for help. The only thing was, you can have these things back. The shield went through an Orlanthian holy day, so it's recharged. Oh, they did hang around. No, they didn't. That's right. I was planning on them hanging around, but they're only like 3 days from Clearwind. So we can just do our worship stuff there, which would technically help the Found Child, because he's from that area, so he would know of their holy place, that kind of thing. I still end up doing the Odela deal with the Orlanthes, but so they decided they're going to hunt around on the way back to Clearwine. They're going to take 3 weeks to do a 3-day trip, hunting around in the wilderness looking for these lunar patrols, because there have been lunar patrols here. And so I didn't actually count it out, but I rolled, dozens of random encounters. Technically, there's 4 rolls a day kind of thing. One morning, one at night, one midday, one midnight, that kind of thing, right? And there's some interesting encounters. They come across a troll caravan There's actually a special one with a stone statue. I didn't really talk to him about that. I probably should. But it's a no encounter though, right? Yeah. Some priests, some merchants, and lots of herdsmen, like you would expect. People out Sargrites doing their thing, right? So there's some, okay, these are trolls in a caravan. They're probably merchants. What's the troll merchant god? That's Argar, something like that. But these particular trolls, while they are a merchant caravan, none of them are AA guys. Nothing to do with alcoholics. And but there's a great troll there. There's like 5 or 6 dark trolls and 9 trollkin, right? So, and plus the giant beetles and everything else that's there. But as soon as, because I'm just, oh god, the merchant is something about stealing something from the trolls. Yeah, right. What do we have to deal with here? But since he saw there were no signs of them being, a merchant cult, he left them alone. Thank goodness. Okay, what kind of priests are they? Make some rolls. They turn out to be Lankermai priests. Not sure why they're going. Maybe they were going north. Maybe they're leaving Henrique Land, heading towards Johnstown. That's always a possibility. There might be a northern route around the Shadow Plateau. Makes some sense. Again, just interesting, but a non-encounter encounter. So if I get to White Wall, we get to the holy days, we do the things, and well, there's only 2, right? that need to replenish their rune points. Lars makes his worship roll, and Subutai fumbles his. There's got to be, or there should be, not got, there should be some kind of secondary negative effect from that. But again, it's going to be temporary, not permanent. Because you see you've offended the god in some way, right? I'm going to put this question out to a few folks. So, hey, if you're watching this video and you play or run in a campaign where religion is a significant factor and you've got worship kinds of things you do, what would you do with the fumble? Okay, so he doesn't get any room points back. He lost his Shadow Cat. And we did talk a little bit about the Shadow Cat. He's going to have to go back to his cult. And they'll have kittens there. That's not a problem. There's going to be plenty of kittens. But he's going to have to, train his kitten. That's going to take about a year. Get the full grown kind of thing. So we'll discuss with him a little later again on, okay, do you want to hold off on getting the kitten now? Do you want to bring Kit with you on the adventure? Because you're going to have to do. Or what? So they Lars rolls, and he rolls. They get a D6 back on an associate cults. They only have 3 room points. So the odds are he's going to come back, and he did. He got all 3 of his points back. And then back to White Wall. Can we get outfitted? Are they going to help us out again? Orlanth Temple is, yeah. They'll give him the sword. They'll give him the stone. They'll give them the shield. I guess they'll give them potions too. I didn't talk to him about that last night, about the potions. Here we go. The Isri's guy in this temple, hey, we're doing this thing with the Orlanthes, death cultists. They interrogated the captured, Lars was saying 3, I think there's only 2. Captured death cultists, so they got some information out of them about that. They are in fact Thanatar cultists, and some of these guys have played back in the 80s like a lot. So that was another issue, another concern that I had playing is I've got a couple players that know quite a bit about either RQG or RuneQuest back in the day, right? And the mechanics are fairly similar, so there shouldn't be too much issue there. But there's a whole lot of things about lore and just information that this Histories guys was talking about Thanatar. Dude, you don't know anything about Thanatar. The player might. player apparently knows a significant amount. But they were not arguing. They were discussing about these two aspects of Thanatar. According to the book I saw, there were three. There's Than or something like that, and then there's the Atar guy. Then there's Thanatar, the combination of the two. So, I'm not going to talk to them about that necessarily. Let them arguing. Well, which version are they? You don't know. Not that it takes too much into consideration with the cult itself, except for some visualizations and some other stuff in the temple itself. Okay, so he actually wants some caravan guards. Not likely. Okay, no caravan guards, but they do have some healing potions that they can give you for this kind of thing. And the Beast of Gore went to the Earth Temple saying, "Hey, we're working with the Orlanthes with this death cultist. Is there any assistance that you can provide?" They came up with a couple of spirit spell matrices, vigor, and a healing. I rolled for the variable spells I roll, right? And in my world, ones and twos, everybody's got ones and twos. They're everywhere. Threes, any real temple's got a 3, right? But getting a 4 or a 5 or a 6, that's really hard. And the way I interpret that is the higher the number of the spirit spell, the stronger the spirit it takes to hold it. And so a spirit 6 spell's got 66 plus 6 power. You want to take a spell from him? So, it's really, really hard. But I rolled. I should have had some kind of curve. Roll and 3d6 kind of thing or something like that, but I just rolled a d6. Came up a 5. So I was going to give them a 5 and going, why on the earth did they give them a 5 when a 6 gives you the capacity to reattach limbs? So I just made it a 6. Okay, heals. Everybody's excited about that. Heals, saving limbs. That's important. And it's something that can be. So the Orlanthe Temple also has armor if guys need, to upgrade their armor. That's not an issue. But then there's concerns about sneaking and that kind of thing, and then there's the whole encumbrance deal. Previous to the start of the game, one of the players was asking about, buying armor and making rolls. And I go, you can buy armor. You've got cash. You've got trade goods and stuff, right? And we figured that, and he buffed himself up with some Kerbal Greaves vambraces and a composite helm to go on the leather stuff he's already got now. So that beats him to 4s instead of the 1s he was at in places. So he's pretty decent now. As I was rolling at this stuff, I forgot what I had rolled to see how much stuff the Orlanthe Temple would give them. I assumed I rolled a d6 because there's 4 different things they gave them. And that's what I did for the Ernalda Temple. I rolled a d6, came to a 2, and okay, the Spirit of Rune stuff. I should have done or something else, and then looked like at the inheritance chart in the player's book for things. But c'est la vie. Okay, 18 minutes. So party, finished getting outfitted, all ready to go, and they head over to where his temple is, and they get there at nightfall. And one of the players mentions, it's kind of interesting that we had designed to leave so we could get there at nightfall. It's not that they designed it, but it takes all day to get there. So if you want, you go halfway, spend the night in Qatari Wild Troll Woods, or you can go all the way. And as they're getting there, there's an encounter. It's actually a random encounter that I rolled, so excuse me. That's at that point, one of our players who works in DC and is covering the impeachment thing. So he's been having a lot of late nights and stuff, and he was late getting back because he had to take pictures before the game. Was hitting the wall, and at that point we were like at 11:30. And so we're getting started an encounter. It's late. Not too late, but it's late. We've been playing for almost 3 hours. Been online since like 8ish. So, and couple other folks, yeah, we can stop here, we'll stop here. So good to go. We'll stop here. We'll start next time with this encounter. So everybody's got to make, scan and listen rolls because they're getting ambushed. And we'll see how that all turns out in 2 weeks. Happy gaming.